Every morning I wake up and I set all my knitting around me. It's like a little kid getting up and putting out all their toys so they can play with them for the day. Anyways, and then I get to work. And to work means that I am working on my knitting projects, my top, my cooling cloths, whatever. Now, this is a Yarnspirations tee pattern, and I decided to add some lace pattern to the yoke. I've knit this up enough time that I know I need about 270 stitches, and then I gradually break it down into 45 stitches for each sleeve, a little bit less in the back and more in the front because you have more in the front to cover. And that was fine. And then I did something, I took a chance. I put this top on this morning, and I just was sitting here thinking it's just too much material and too wide, and it wasn't even fitting nice. If I could kind of illustrate it, it was sort of fitting a bit loose and bunched up like that, and I wasn't happy with that. So you debate. Should I take it apart and do it again? Are you kidding? Oh man, this took a long time. Well, long enough to knit up. So I washed it down with some natural soap that I make, and I just gently squeezed it out and threw it in the dryer by itself, and it shrunk, which is fine because I kept a loose string so that I could just unravel the bottom and add length to it. And I have two more balls of wool, so the number of balls of wool or the amount of wool is not an issue. But anyways, it shrank. I know it shrank up, but it also seemed to shrink in a little bit, and I like it. I'm happy with it now. So anyway, um, I figured if I could throw the face cloths that I made with this picnic cotton, throw them in the washer and dryer and have them come out nice and they keep their shape, that I could do the same with these tops. So it was a bit of an experiment. I I washed and shrank one by accident, my plum shirt. And so anyway, I just also the neckline, yeah, the neckline was way over, bra to bra kind of thing, and it's fitting better now too. So I'm pleased. Nothing like knitting something and you really like it. So um, that's an advantage to the picnic cotton. On to more picnic cotton. Now this is three different colors. A tank top that I was knitting up. The pattern is by a designer. She goes under the YouTube name or designer name of Knit Crow Addict. I've used her pattern before on other tops, but this is the first time with the picnic cotton. I'm definitely going to do it again. And so I finished crocheting my summer hat. Now, this was pretty good, and I stiffened up the brim using this product called Stiff. You generally use it for doilies, and it worked. But I think I'm going to put a small wire in around the edge, which is a suggestion that another crochet person made. A while ago, my sister sent me a picture of a basket that she had crocheted. And since I do know how to crochet, I decided I'm going to take some of my leftover wool and work on a basket. Except that I used two strands, so my basket ended up being a soft body bag, which is fine. I ended up putting a lot of my extra balls of wool into it. The whole thing is completed using single crochet, and you work in a circular motion. You gradually increase, and at some point you stop increasing. You just keep going around and around, and that creates the sides of the bag. And then there's a way that you can skip stitches and create a handle. And so there's a lot of patterns online about this. So I'm not going to, give one here, but I'm just going to say that it is easy to do. So if you've never crocheted and you're thinking about it, this is a simple project to work with. Don't you just love a pile of balls of yarn, all the different colors? Looks great. So here's my soft body bag. There's my handle. I have two handles, of course. And I'm going to just put all those balls of wool into this bag. But you can use the bag for anything that you want. Sometimes I find it easier to make a video and then talk about it afterwards. That way I don't have to be concerned about recording the sound. Now I'm illustrating the soft body bag. And I used a white wool with a variegated wool. So then you see this striping of color. And now I'm going to put all my balls of wool into the bag just to show you how it can stretch and how much it can hold. And there we have it, all the colors in the bag. I actually have some more wool in other bags and I'm just gonna stuff it all in there. So I actually filled the bag right up to the brim. And what I like about this is that, if you're thinking about going on a picnic or maybe even just throwing in some clothes and going for an overnighter somewhere, it's a very multi-use bag that you can enjoy. So I think I'm going to get a lot of use out of this. I was also thinking it was probably good for people who have RVs and storage that, if it goes in your cubby or whatever, it's very pliable. It's much easier to store it than trying to get a fixed object like a box or a wooden box into a space. And now, finally, a true basket. So this one, I did pull out 5 strands of extra wool that I have hanging around. And I just put them together. I didn't really try to match colors, but I think it worked out pretty nice. I was just pulling out what I had. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some of this wool was purchased on sale. Some of it was gifted to me. And when you just have one ball of wool, it's hard to know exactly what to do with it. I have other projects that I've knit and crocheted, but I just thought, well, let's make a true basket here. So the difference with this one in the single crochet again is that I'm only crocheting into the back stitch, which gives it sort of a lined effect along the basket as you're working your way through the wool and crocheting the basket. What can I say? Well, what I can tell you is that I'm using a Susan Bates crochet hook. And these are kind of nice because they have sort of a ridge edge to it, which helps to catch the wool. When you're working with 5 strands, it's pretty easy to lose 1 or 2 of the strands as you're going through. So what I do is I'll put in this case, through the back stitch. I put the crochet hook through. This one's a little bit tough. And I try to catch the wool and I make sure that the crochet hook is facing down as I pull it through. And that way the wool usually stays on the hook. Sometimes you miss a loop and it doesn't matter. You can just sort of pull it straight and even it out. Yeah, when you're working with 5 strands like that, you are always going through, running the strands through your hand, trying to even them all out so that you don't end up with some extra strange looking loops hanging out on your basket. So it's Saturday morning, and here I am with the basket finished up. I just have to cut it loose, cut the strands, and weave the end in. And as you know, it's funny because sometimes when you're working on a project, you don't know what it's going to be for. Not a hat. Although, who knows? Um, I got this idea then. Wait a minute, what about if I use this basket in my main bathroom and put all the knitted washcloths that I have into the basket? And so I showed it to Stanley, and he thought that was a great use. He's the one that uses the main bathroom the most. I usually use the ensuite. So now I'm thinking I want to create a basket like this for my friends. Or at least I have one friend in mind. So happy crochet, people. Enjoy your crocheting. Single stitch, work with it, get practice, and create something different. One more thing. I came across this cute owl idea, which was very simple to do, and a neat way to embellish your basket. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe and do a thumbs up.